Brock. Brock is the gym leader of Pewter City, successor to his father Flint, who was tired of his role and left to become a real Pokemon trainer. Brock is the older brother of the family and takes care of his many younger brothers and sisters. He loves doing archaeological research in his free time, and it is no coincidence that he uses rock-type Pokemon. His name, Brock, Takeshi for the Japanese version, is a clear reference to his love for rocks and mountains. In the animated series, he's also an irredeemable womanizer, a fact that is not shown in the video game. Brock's strategy in combat is purely defensive. His Pokemon do not have a great variety of moves, and he usually uses Sandstorm as the basis of his strategy. Although Brock's Pokemon do a lot of damage and have a lot of physical resistance, they suffer a lot from special attacks, especially if they are water or grass type. His most iconic Pokemon are Geodude and Onix. After defeating him, you get the Rock Badge, one of the 8 in the Kanto region, and the TM Rock Slide. Misty. Misty is the gym leader of Cerulean City, a determined, energetic girl with a tomboyish personality. She is the youngest of 4 sisters, with whom she does not have a good relationship and managed to take over the management of the gym at only 10 years old. In addition to her role as gym leader, Misty often performs in aquatic shows with her Pokemon, earning the nickname Tomboy Mermaid. Her name is a clear reference to water vapor, both the English one, Misty, and the Japanese one, Kasumi. Misty's strategy in combat is both defensive and offensive. She likes to use Rain Dance as a power-up and often uses Rest as a recovery move. She doesn't usually choose her Pokemon based on their stats, but rather based on the moves they can learn. This gives her an advantage against opponents who exploit one of the weaknesses of water Pokemon, namely the grass type, allowing some of her Pokemon to use ice type moves that are super effective against these Pokemon. While against electric Pokemon, well, there's little to do but hope for good luck. Misty will give us the Cascade Badge if we beat her, the second one that is part of Kanto, and the TM Bubble Beam. Misty's most iconic Pokemon are Starmie and Golduck. Lieutenant Surge. Surge was a former Unova soldier who had participated in a war at a young age. He managed to survive the conflict thanks to his electric Pokemon. It is said that he defeated several enemies with the electric attacks of his Pokemon, and that thanks to them, he managed to activate a combat aircraft and win the war. It seems that he still keeps the aircraft in his house somewhere. Originally, he was supposed to just be passing through Kanto, but the members of the Pokemon League convinced him to become the gym leader of Vermilion City. He is apparently bold and arrogant, but deep down, he is very caring. Surge is a very defensively oriented trainer, pragmatic and calculating. His main strategy consists of paralyzing the enemy Pokemon with Thunder Wave and hitting them with powerful electric attacks. The biggest weakness of his strategy is the ground-type Pokemon, as they cannot be affected by Thunder Wave and the attacks of his Pokemon are practically ineffective. Surge, to counter its weakness, can only rely on his Raichu, which has some fighting-type moves, or on his Electivire, in the most recent generations of the game. Upon defeating him, you get the Thunder Badge, the third in the Kanto region, and the TM Thunderbolt. Erika. Erika is a grass-type Pokemon trainer. She is very refined, elegant, and kind girl. The classic stereotype of the traditional Japanese girl, you know? She is also the gym leader of Ceylon City, the city of luxury and glamour. She likes to spend time meditating, doing ikebana, and preparing perfumes using the aromas that her Pokemon release. Don't be fooled by her gentle manners and calm demeanor though, because she's a very skilled trainer. Her strategy usually consists of casting Sunny Day to enhance some of her Pokemon's characteristics and moves like Solar Beam, which, thanks to the buff, no longer needs to be charged. She also makes great use of the move Giga Drain, another move typical of grass Pokemon. Although some of her Pokemon like Tangrowth can stand up to flying Pokemon, Pokemon of this type and like those of Fire or Ice are a real threat to her, especially the Fire type are Erika's real weak point. Remember that Sunny Day also enhances attacks of this type of Pokemon. Erika will give the Rainbow Badge and the TM Giga Drain after we have won the battle. Before continuing our journey, I would like to ask you if you liked the video to like and subscribe. As you can see, our channel is still small, and any help on your side will help us to keep producing content. Koga. Koga is the gym leader of Fuchsia City in the first generation. He's a talented trainer of poison-type Pokemon. In addition to being a ninja master, very expert in medical arts, he usually creates medicine for his Pokemon by himself. His most notable Pokemon is definitely Crobat, even if you only see it used from the second generation onwards. During the first generation as a gym leader, he faced you with coughing, wheezing, and muck in the red and blue versions. In the yellow version, however, he used a Venonat and a Venomoth. Upon defeating him, you get the Soul Badge and the TM Toxin. His daughter, Janine, on the other hand, is a proud and very playful girl. She takes on the role of gym leader of the city after her father is promoted to a member of the Elite Four of the Johto League. Although she is very cheerful and loves to play pranks, she inherited her talent as a Pokemon trainer from her father. Like her father, she specializes in poison-type Pokemon, and her combat strategy is pretty much the same. That is, to inflict many status alterations on the opponent's Pokemons, and then finish them off with a few direct attacks. Her most notable Pokemon are Ariados, who is able to perform some electric moves, and Crobat, a clear homage to her father. Using her might seem a very tough challenge given the large number of altered statuses that her Pokemon can cause, but in reality, if you have Pokemon with very powerful attacks, and if you pay attention to the alterations, getting the better of her won't be that difficult. Also, because her Pokemon tend to have few health points, defeating her will give us the Soul Badge and the TM Poison Jab. Sabrina. Sabrina is the gym leader of Saffron City, a prodigy girl who has inherited psychic powers from her father since she was a child. She has great psychokinetic and teleportation abilities. She has trained her powers since she was little, and now she's so powerful that she can communicate telepathically with her Pokemon. Ugh, I have the feeling that this character has chosen the wrong franchise. She seems more powerful than any other Pokemon, honestly. But let's get back to her, the fearsome Sabrina, as she is called. Now that she is an adult, she can completely dominate her powers and is also able to foresee fragments of the future. Recently, in addition to challenging the various trainers who want her badge, she began her acting career in Pokewood in the role of Malicia, obtaining considerable fame. I wouldn't be surprised if she had gained fame thanks to her psychic powers, in a slightly more indirect way, if you know what I mean. Sabrina's most notable Pokemon is definitely her Alakazam, with whom she has a great psychic connection. Two practically grew up together, and since she was still in Abra, Sabrina trained with them. During the fight, Sabrina is tough. Her Pokemon are very aggressive and can have moves of other types, and therefore be able to exploit the weak point of the opponent's Pokemon. The only advantage against her is to use the Ghost-type Pokemon, the only real weak point in her Pokemons. Once the fearsome girl is defeated, we will be given the Marsh Badge and the TM Psywave. Blaine. Blaine, the charismatic gym leader of Cinnabar Island, is a very passionate man who embodies the fire element very well. It is said that he decided to specialize in the fire type after meeting Moltres. During a solo expedition on Mount Silver, Blaine is caught in a blizzard, survived but unable to go back. He is rescued by a passing Moltres that took him down to the valley. Blaine is a very short-tempered and stubborn person. He loves riddles, so much so that he forces those who want to challenge him to solve one first. Blaine's strategy is very direct. Powerful Pokemon with powerful attacks. His Pokemon could drain your Pokemon's health points very quickly, if you're not properly prepared. It is definitely best to face him with water, ground, or rock-type Pokemon in your team, even if this will not guarantee an easy battle. In the first generation, his flagship Pokemon are Arcanine and Rapidash. His Rapidash is also able to use Wild Charge in recent generations, an electric-type move. We will get the Volcano Badge and the TM Fire Blast after having the better of him. Blue. Blue Oak, grandson of the professor of the same name and old rival of Red. He becomes the gym leader of Viridian City after losing the title of champion of Kanto region and after Giovanni, the former gym leader and leader of Team Rocket, disappeared for some reason. I don't think there is any need to tell you what kind of person he is. I think all of you have a clear idea of what kind of person he is, so move on to his battle strategy. Blue mainly adopts strategies, consistent exploiting the type advantage, which always deploys the Pokemon that has a move or is of the effective type against the one he's facing. The second is the use of the move Trick Room, which basically inverts the speed of the Pokemon. Since his Pokemon are very powerful but slow, they will gain a huge advantage. While if the opponent had a very agile Pokemon on the field, he will find himself in great difficulty. His most important Pokemon are the same ones that the player faces during the Pokemon Red game. Just to name a few are Arcanine, Gyarados, Executor, and Pidgeot. Upon defeat, he will give us the Earth Badge, the last one in the Kanto region, and TM Trick Room. In the old generations, instead of him, you had to face Giovanni. He too, like Blue, used to use evolved and powerful Pokemon like Nidoking and Rhydon, and he too used to change Pokemon, choosing the one of the most suitable type for the situation. Luckily, in the game, he never faces us with Mewtwo, otherwise it would have been game over for sure. After defeating him, you will get the Earth Badge as well, but the TM he will give us will be Abyss. Falkner. Falkner is a young trainer who shows a strong passion for flying-type Pokemon, a trait he inherited from his father. He admires a lot and considers as a role model. Falkner is an ambitious boy and wants to become the strongest specialist of flying Pokemon. In his Violet City, he is highly respected for his role as gym leader and for the fame of his father. In battle, he is more predisposed for defensive strategy than an offensive one. He usually uses move that reduces the opponent's damage, and in the most recent versions of the game, he makes extensive use of the move Roost to heal his Pokemon. When he's defeated, you get the Zephyr Badge, the first of the Johto region, and the TM Mudslap. Bugsy. Bugsy is a young boy with very feminine haircut and fuchsia-colored eyes. He loves bug-type Pokemon and likes to study their characteristics. His dream is to become a great Pokemon researcher like Professor Oak. He prefers to stay in the woods studying bug Pokemon than to be among people, and he boasts a lot about having discovered how the move Fury Cutter works. A move that I consider quite useless, also because I have never understood how it works. Despite his young age, Bugsy is the gym leader of Azalea Town. In his first appearance, his only notable Pokemon is a Scyther that of course is able to use the move Fury Cutter. For the rest, he is fairly easy opponent to defeat. As many of you know, bug Pokemons are not famous for being powerful. They have few health points and do little damage. Once this insect-loving boy is defeated, we will obtain the Hive Badge, number 2 in the Johto region, and the TM Fury Cutter. Witney. The gym leader of Goldenrod City is considered one of the strongest in Johto. Witney is a young girl with pink hair tied in 2 ponytails. On the surface, she may seem very sociable, simple, and respectful of other people. But in reality, she has a very chaotic personality. She is loud, arrogant, and gets angry and cries every time she loses. Her gym is known for choosing cute Pokemon, giving more attention to aesthetics than strength. Pokemon she uses are of the normal type, and facing her is not such an easy thing. Thanks to the versatility of this type of Pokemon, many of those that Witney uses can have elemental attacks to better face the opposing Pokemon. Some of them are also able to heal themselves and have a huge amount of life points. Her most powerful Pokemon in its first appearance is definitely the Miltank, a pink cow that is super tanky and does a lot of damage. Oh my god, how much effort I faced the first time against this Pokemon and its attack rollout. Sheesh. Witney, after the defeat and after crying and complaining a lot about her victory, will give us the Plain Badge and the TM Attract. Morty. Morty is a blonde boy dressed in dark clothes and with a bandana and a purple scarf. He is very enigmatic and thoughtful with an obsession for the spirit world and ghost-type Pokemon. Since he was little, he has had to deal with the supernatural, and it is said that it has allowed him to see things that normal people cannot perceive. He has a strange admiration for Ho-Oh and wants to bond with him. It's clear that this one is a fanatic of the occult. Gym leader of Ecruteak City, he will give us the Fog Badge and the TM Shadow Ball after we've won. To do this, we have to fight against his ghost Pokemon that in his first appearance are Ghastly, Hunter, and Gengar. Cannot be more spectral than this, folks. Defeating him will not be very difficult if we have Pokemon with special attacks. We only have to pay attention to the altered statuses, but the undertaking will be simple if we have a Pokemon capable of doing a lot of damage. Chuck. Chuck is a big, muscular man who has spent years strengthening his mind, his body, and his Pokemon. He and his Pokemon are expert fighters in any hand-to-hand discipline, and Chuck, like a true gym boy, loves to do extreme and Spartan workouts, convinced that training your body not only helps improve strength, but also helps you gain self-confidence. Despite this obsession with training and physical fitness, Chuck is a sweet tooth who considers it the right reward after a hard day of training. In fact, he has a belly and not a six-pack. In battle, as you may have already understood, he mainly uses fighting-type Pokemon. In Pokemon Silver and Gold, his first appearance, he faces us with a Primeape and a Poliwrath. His combat strategy is different from those of a classic fighting-type specialist. Chuck, in fact, also uses defensive moves to alter the statuses of the opponent's Pokemon and then hit it directly with fighting-type moves. An example can be his Poliwrath that can use his hypnosis to put the opposing Pokemon to sleep and then hit it with fighting-type moves. I know it's a very dumb example, but the pattern is really like that. Upon defeating our man obsessed with training, he will give us the Storm Badge and the TM Dynamic Punch. Jasmine, the gym leader of Olivine City, is a very shy and kind girl. She doesn't particularly like fighting despite being considered one of the strongest in Johto. She has an Ampharos as a friend and spends a lot of time taking care of the Pokemon, which has the task of lighting the city's lighthouse. Jasmine prefers the use of Steel-type Pokemon, even if it doesn't seem like it at all, and the fighting style is very similar to Brock's, more focused on defense than on the attack. Her flagship Pokemon is a Steelix, which she can launch powerful attacks such as Iron Tail or Earthquake in the most recent game versions. In her first appearance where she faces us, the Pokemon she uses are Magnemite and Steelix, and by defeating her, we will get the Mineral Badge and the TM Iron Tail. Pryce. Pryce is an old man from Mahogany Town and the city's gym leader for many decades, and he has never abandoned his role due to his great dedication, and no one has ever tried to take his place. But honestly, between you and me, with the cold in that cave of a gym, I believe that no one wants to become its owner. Pryce is a very wise and thoughtful old man who uses Ice-type Pokemon. In his first appearance, he faces us with a Seal, a Dugong, and a Piloswine. Probably his most notable Pokemon is his Dugong, which has fairly powerful attacks like Aurora Beam and is equipped with moves like Rest that allow him to recover all his health. Pryce's strategy combines offensive tactics using moves that, in addition to doing damage, cause debuffs to the opposing Pokemon. We will obtain the Frost Badge and the TM Icewind as a reward after defeating him. Clair. The gym leader of Blackthorn City is a young, boisterous woman who is proud of her fighting skills. Due to rumors that she treats Pokemon only as tools, she has not yet been accepted by the Dragon Clan. Not much is known about this clan, whether Clair and her cousin Lance are a part of it, although the girl is not officially recognized by the clan. Clair is hot-headed, very competitive, and does not accept defeat easily. She is very determined to be the best in her role, and one of her biggest goals is certainly to surpass her cousin, Lance, as the best dragon Pokemon trainer. Clair is very aggressive in battle, and her Pokemon are equipped with many powerful attacks, such as Dragon-type moves and the super awesome Hyper Beam. In her first appearance, she faces us with Dragonair and Kingdra. Kingdra is undoubtedly her flagship Pokemon, considered one of the strongest water Pokemon. It also has Dragon-type characteristics and obviously the very powerful Hyper Beam. Once we defeat the Dragon Trainer, we will finally get the Rising Badge, the last one in the Johto region, and the TM Dragon Breath.